In exactly 3 hours, my world shattered when I watched my fiancé kneel before my best friend, his ring glinting like a betrayal I never imagined. I had no idea that demanding my ex's approval would lead to this devastating, public humiliation. What I'm about to tell you will expose every lie I told myself, and maybe, just maybe, save you from repeating my catastrophic gamble. I met Jake in the summer after my senior year, when I was still nursing the bruises from a 2-year relationship with Alex. Alex had been my first serious love, the guy who introduced me to indie coffee shops and taught me how to read wine labels. When he broke up with me over a career move, I swore I'd never let anyone else dictate my future. I told myself I'd only marry someone if Alex, my ex, gave his blessing. It sounded like a power move, a way to prove I still own my heart. In reality, it was a flimsy safety net, a desperate attempt to keep Alex's ghost from haunting my decisions. Jake was everything Alex wasn't: spontaneous, unapologetically goofy, and oddly attentive. He'd slide into my DMs with memes at 2 a.m., and we'd spend weekends binge-watching true crime documentaries while ordering pizza. Our friends, especially Maya, my college roommate turned confidant, cheered us on. "You deserve someone who actually wants you," Maya would text, her pink bubble popping up on my phone like a tiny cheerleader. I posted a picture of us at a rooftop bar on Instagram, captioned "Future Mrs. Mister. Still waiting for the Mrs. part." Likes flooded in, and the validation felt like a warm blanket on a cold night. When I finally told Alex about Jake, I expected a polite nod or a curt good luck. Instead, Alex replied with a short, "If you're happy, I'm happy." I took that as a green light, a silent approval that gave me permission to move forward. I told Jake, "I'll only say yes if Alex says no." He laughed, a little too easily, and said, "Sounds like a challenge." I thought I was being clever, turning a childish game into a romantic contract. I didn't realize I was setting a ticking time bomb. The first red flag appeared on a Tuesday night when Maya called me panicked. "Did you see Alex's story?" she whispered, the sound of her voice crackling through the phone. Alex had posted a throwback photo of us at a beach party, the caption reading, "Never thought we'd end up here." The comment section was a frenzy of heart emojis and nostalgic captions. I felt a knot tighten in my stomach. Alex was still curating our past for an audience that didn't exist anymore. I brushed it off, telling Maya, "He's just being nostalgic. It doesn't mean anything." But the seed of doubt had been planted, and I was already on shaky ground. A week later, Jake surprised me with a weekend getaway to a cabin in the woods. He had arranged everything: wine, a fire pit, a playlist of our favorite songs. I was ecstatic, convinced that the universe was finally rewarding my patience. As we sipped rose, I confessed my "only if Alex says no" clause. Jake's eyebrows rose, then fell. "You're still playing his approval game?" he asked, his voice suddenly serious. I tried to laugh it off. "It's just a silly promise I made to myself." He squeezed my hand, his grip firm, and said, "If you're still waiting on his answer, I'm not sure I can wait forever." I felt my confidence wobble, but I clung to the narrative that I was in control. That night, I posted a picture of the cabin's sunrise on my story, captioned "New Beginnings." Within minutes, Alex's name popped up in the comments: "Beautiful view. Reminds me of that time we watched the sunrise together." The comment was a dagger. I replied with a polite thanks, but inside, I felt the walls of my self-made prison start to crumble. I tried to rationalize it: "He's just being friendly." Yet the more I defended myself, the louder the inner voice shouted, "You're still letting Alex dictate your happiness." The next day, Jake called me with a tremor in his voice. "I need to talk," he said, and I could hear the background hum of a coffee shop. I met him at our usual spot, a tiny table by the window where the rain tapped against the glass. He stared at his coffee, then looked up. "I've been talking to Maya," he began, "and she told me about Alex's constant posts. I feel like I'm competing with a ghost." My heart hammered. "I'm sorry," I whispered. "I didn't realize it was that big of a deal." Jake's eyes softened, but there was a resolve I hadn't seen before. "I love you, but I can't keep being the second choice to someone who's already moved on." He paused, then added, "I'm proposing to Maya tomorrow, because she's been there for me when I needed someone real." The words hit me like a freight train. I felt the floor drop out from under me. I had been so focused on securing Alex's invisible seal of approval that I never considered the collateral damage to the people who truly mattered. My mind raced. Did I push Jake away? Did I betray Maya? I tried to argue. "You can't just..." But Jake's voice was steady. "I'm not doing this to hurt you," he said. I'm doing it because I deserve someone who doesn't need a third party's blessing to love me." He stood up, placed his hand on the table, and walked out, leaving a coffee cup trembling in his wake. The news spread through our friend group like wildfire. Maya's phone buzzed non-stop texts from everyone asking if she was okay, if she knew why Jake had chosen her. In the group chat, Maya typed, "I didn't ask for this, but I'm not saying no." Her reply was a mixture of shock and a strange, quiet acceptance. I stared at my phone, feeling the weight of every notification. The social media feed turned into a courtroom, each comment a verdict. Some friends defended me, saying she was just trying to protect herself. Others condemned me, writing, "She's the one who caused this mess." The digital chorus amplified my shame, making the betrayal feel public and irreversible. That night, I scrolled through Alex's Instagram, his profile a curated gallery of sunsets, gym selfies, and occasional captions about moving forward. One post caught my eye, a photo of him with a new girl, both laughing under a neon sign that read forever. The caption read, "New chapters, same vibe." My stomach dropped. I realized Alex had already moved on, and I had been holding on to a phantom approval that never existed. I felt the irony like a slap while I was obsessing over his validation. He was living his own life, untouched by my drama. I had been the one who let his ghost dictate my reality. The next morning, I called Maya. "I'm sorry," I said, my voice breaking. "I never meant for any of this to happen." She listened, her silence heavy. When I finished, she sighed, "You were always the one who wanted control, even if it meant hurting the people who loved you." Her words were a mirror, reflecting my own self-sabotage. She continued, "Jake didn't need a reason to leave, he needed a reason to stay. He found that with me because I was honest, not because I waited for Alex's nod." I felt a sting of jealousy, but also a flicker of relief. Perhaps I could finally see the truth. I decided to confront Alex, not for his sake, but for my own closure. I sent him a DM, "Can we talk?" He replied within minutes, "Sure, what's up?" We met at a downtown coffee shop, the same one where Jake had proposed to Maya. Alex was relaxed, sipping his latte, his eyes scanning the room. I sat across from him, heart pounding. "I realized I was using you as a safety net," I confessed, the words spilling out like a confession. "I needed your no to feel free, but I didn't see that I was the one imprisoning myself." He stared at me, then smiled faintly. "You always made it sound like I held the power," he said. "You were the one who chose to stay in that role. I'm glad you finally see that." The conversation was a turning point. Alex's honesty cut through the fog I'd built around my insecurities. He didn't apologize, he didn't need to. He simply acknowledged my pattern, and in doing so, gave me permission to release it. As I left the coffee shop, I felt a strange mixture of grief and liberation. I had lost Jake, but I had also lost the phantom of Alex's approval that had haunted me for years. In the weeks that followed, I focused on rebuilding my life, one honest conversation at a time. I deleted the Instagram post of the cabin sunrise, replaced it with a photo of a sunrise over my own apartment balcony, a sunrise I'd watched alone, but with a newfound sense of peace. I started a journal, writing down every time I felt the urge to seek external validation. Each entry was a reminder that I could trust my own instincts, not the imagined nod of an ex who was already moving on. Maya and I grew closer, not in a romantic sense, but as two women who had navigated the same storm. We'd meet for brunch, laughing over avocado toast, sharing memes about ex-approval contracts. She'd tease me, "Next time you're going to propose a contract with a stranger." I'd roll my eyes, but deep down I appreciated her humor. It was the balm that soothed my bruised ego. Our friends rallied around us, offering support, reminding us that we were not defined by one disastrous weekend. Jake, meanwhile, settled into a relationship with Maya that felt grounded and honest. Their engagement photos, posted a month later, showed them laughing on a beach, the ring sparkling against the sand. The caption read, "Found love where I least expected it, thanks for being my reality check." The comment section flooded with love, but also a few lingering whispers. Did you ever love her? Was it revenge? I chose not to engage. I let the universe sort out its karma. Jake had found his happiness, I had found my own. Looking back, I realized that my original demand, "I'll only marry him if my ex says no," was less about Alex and more about my fear of being alone. I had built a narrative where my worth hinged on external approval, and I was willing to sacrifice my own happiness to maintain that illusion. The moment Jake proposed to Maya, The world didn't just shatter, it revealed the truth I'd been avoiding. I had been the architect of my own heartbreak, and the only thing that could have saved me was the courage to let go of the phantom approval. Now, when I scroll through my feed, I see pictures of weddings, engagements, and happy couples. I no longer feel the sting of comparison. I've learned that love isn't a contract signed with an ex's signature, it's a promise you make to yourself first. I still have moments of doubt, especially when I see Alex's new life, but I remind myself that his no never mattered. The real power was always within me, waiting for me to claim it. If there's one thing I want you to take away from my story, it's this: don't let anyone past or present hold the pen to your future. Your heart isn't a bargaining chip, and your happiness isn't a prize to be won by meeting someone else's conditions. When you find yourself saying, "I'll only do X if Y says no," pause. Ask yourself why you're waiting for that permission. The answer will likely expose a deeper insecurity, one you can heal without dragging others into the fallout. In the end, I didn't get the wedding I imagined, but I gained something far more valuable: a clear understanding that I am the only one who can give myself the green light. And that, dear reader, is the most shocking, empowering revelation of all.